You are live. Okay, back to what? Okay, back to the important part here. Hey, Dylan, you want to see something cringe? Yeah, get ready for this.
Power
Let me find it.
on.
Power on. Yes.
Yes, my speaker was not on.
Yeah. All right. Where was it? Uh, where's the hugs thing? That's the the here. It's probably here. This is still the Disney King comments section, Dylan.
Why?
Because it's fun. Look at this. This person is the original poster, and they're like, this person freaks out here, and they're like, apologies for startling you. Hugs. You want a free hug? Just comment on here. Say, I want hugs. I'm a person who likes Disney kinks as a much older fan. Very old. Where were we here? This dude says, profile says they're 14, except they claim to be an older fan.
How creep-tastic.
Yeah, this is great. Like, "14 years old, wrote it." Yeah, I mean, as the rule goes, no expectations. God damn it. This is
No
a
raggarts.
27-year-old. No raggarts. God damn it. Okay. I think we've had enough fun with that. Let's see.
Have you, though?
Are we? This is true? No, that's definitely not it.
Is
We're
this
at
all we
intrigue.
have today?
What?
Is this all we have tonight?
What do you mean? All the people?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Exodus said he might get on, and Ryle, honestly, I do not expect him to get on because because of daylight savings. Like, our clocks get turned back in a few hours.
Oh, yeah.
His is already turned back.
Yeah.
He already turned his back, so like he'd have to wake up even earlier. So I don't
time do we
expect
turn
him
our
to get on.
clock back?
And we
At
could
2 a.m.
invite. Yes, so
That's
2 a.m.
fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah. So it'll
Keep that in
hit
mind.
2 a.m. and then it'll go back to 1 a.m.
Great.
Yep. Make sure to get enough rest so you don't get into a car accidents because you didn't sleep enough. Which is what tends to happen on daylight savings.
Yeah. The number of accidents does tend to increase on
And
those
the number
2
of
days.
people
of the year.
complaining too.
It goes back an hour. You get more sleep.
That's the idea, but no, because people tend to just stay up past that hour.
Dumbasses.
I mean,
Yeah,
as a
one
night
more hour.
owl, I prefer that.
Well, as a night owl, you're entitled to that. But these
Yes.
dumbasses are staying up just so they can change the time.
Yeah.
They
I
can just change
also
it and go to
don't
bed.
drive, so I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, somebody else can get in accidents for you. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that. All right. If ever Peach later wants to join, we can throw him in or something. But I'm happy with like this number here right now.
Puberty hit John hard in a good way.
You regret clicking this.
I
This.
love that that's on the freaking titles.
It's important that it's here. Oh look, Ever Peach.
I always
Probably gonna write while
I
listening.
still don't understand how this is Dark John. This is
'Cause he's-
Dickish John.
He's edgy, okay? That means he's
Asshole
dark.
John.
He's John the pizza cutter.
Yes. Wacky woohoo
All
pizza
edge
John.
and no
stuff.
point.
This is Mummy John.
Are you my mommy?
Why do I have to? I feel like I now have to speak in an Italian accent when John talks, but I don't know how to do that very well.
Do your best.
Like,
Mamma
I
mia.
can't do it. No, more like an angry pizzeria owner. Like,
Yeah, the only thing that's in my head right now for an Italian accent is fucking Jar Jar for some reason.
hey,
I have
look, he's
no
running his
idea
own
why.
Pokemon fic.
The
Eat
rotting corpse. That is
Speaking of the rotting corpse in Elemental Trinity.
It's not
We're gonna
rotting.
put that.
Look, man, it's only how old is it now? Since I like how when did I stop updating? Let's see. Up my account here. Also, by the way, I fixed my notifications issue by creating a Gmail account, switching to that, then redirecting the mail from the Gmail account to my Hotmail because yeah,
How that's just a pain in the ass.
it was actually easier than I thought. But last update for Elemental Trinity, April the 2nd. Oh shit.
It was almost an April Fool's update.
Of this year?
Yes.
That's not a rotting corpse.
It's more like still freshly dead.
Yeah,
No,
I've
seen six
definitely
come back
seen
after-
takes go longer between updates.
one of my favorites. It took him 4 years, and then he DM'd me on FanFiction to restart our conversation, and it was like, "Oh my god, you're alive!"
They got shit to do, and most people don't want to tell anyone that they're doing a fanfic.
Elemental
People
Trinity is locked in the basement, slowly starving to death while fighting with Hit the Ground Running for only scraps that the rats leave behind.
No. Hit the Ground Running is already dead, so it's gonna eat it.
Yeah, Hit the
It
Ground
needs to
Running is
resurrect
the actual
and-
rotting corpse.
Hit the Ground Running needs to be set on fire and then rise again from the ashes in a rewrite.
Well, speaking of rising, let us read the rising.
Tempted to make that my ringtone.
I mean, will it remind you of the rising sun, or will it remind you of Simba being thrown off?
Oh, it's definitely Lion King that it will remind me of.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
At this point, I won't be able to watch The Lion King without seeing Jon Snow's face in the sun.
God.
I'm sorry. Rising
Oh.
Sun is memorable, but nothing can taint the Lion King.
Show Simba.
The freaking remake tried to, but nothing can taint.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna touch the live action Lion King, so
I like how they thought that live action would be better than the amazing animation that they had before.
It's not like they changed shit. There was a few extra scenes put in, but
I don't want to watch real lions. I want to watch animated lions.
I would have rather had a prequel with Scar and Mufasa.
Why not just do the sequel with the daughter of Simba and the other fucking
They already have a
And-
sequel.
yeah. Do another one.
I don't want another one.
That's fair. Intrigue. So we got to the point where John fought
Sir
Jamie.
Jaime Lannister.
Sir Jamie Lannister of the Kingsguard. And I forgot
And
the
Garion's nephew.
That's right. Sir Jamie Lannister of the King's Guard and Garion's nephew. That's very important. And then he messed with him by displaying knowledge of Garion, who happens to be the uncle of Sir Jamie Lannister of the King's Guard, who is Garion's nephew. In case you didn't know.
And apparently thinks that the sword forms hold you back.
Yes.
Because that's what Master M told him.
Master M taught him that there should be no patterns to his attacks, because he becomes much more powerful when he masters it. Yes, indeed. Jamie. Oh, we're starting with. Oh, okay. I like this.
We're starting with Sir Jaime Lannister of the King's Guard and Garion's nephew.
When the Queen Mother pulled him aside and tasked him to look into Lord Stark's bastard son, he was somewhat confused by the request. Oh, that's why he was looking. What would one of the most powerful individuals in the realm want with some northerner's base-born son? Okay, why is he
Well, to be
talking like
fair,
this?
it's not just some northerner.
Why is he thinking like this? The most powerful individuals and base-born son. Why does it say bastard? Anywho,
Yeah, he
eyed
he wasn't nervous about calling Jon a bastard in canon, so
the boy when he saw the Stark children approach the practice yard and found it very hard not to stare. There was a tall, rugged elegance about the. Oh, he's wanking him. He's wanking him.
he's already in love with him.
Already wants to polish his sword.
Okay. There was a tall, rugged elegance about the lad that wasn't very common amongst any of the Starks he'd seen in Winterfell. It was clearly easy on the eye if the small bosom woman that had clearly been flirting with him was anything to go by. Those genes definitely weren't from his father. The only thing he seemed to inherit from the chilly warden of the north was his coloring in his eyes, and even they were a lighter shade of gray compared to the stark patriarch, eyes that flared with intensity when looking straight into them. I'm sensing some
Already
issues here.
gazing intensely into his eyes.
They're just star-crossed lovers here now. Whoever the mother was must have been some woman. Not only had she passed on some of her beauty onto her son, she'd also managed to turn the head of the good and honorable Lord Stark. He looked around as he followed Jon back to the northern camp.
Jamie should have thought that very derisively. The
This?
good, honorable Ned Stark.
The good and honorable Lord Stark, like saying it in a sarcastic manner.
Yeah, this is why italicizing is important.
Yeah.
And it's not like he doesn't know how to italicize.
Like, Jamie
Yeah.
very much does not like Ned at all.
To be fair, a lot of that stems from Ned instantly judging him after he killed Ares, which didn't happen in this.
True, but is Dirk good enough to recognize that, or is this just a mistake of characterization on his part?
I mean, yes and no.
Are you
He
going
can
to give him the credit?
Dirk has some moments. This is just one of his moments.
He's good at Ramsay. Maybe he's good at Jamie as well. You don't know. You don't know
He's
until we
probably
see
good
what
at the
happens.
mountain that rides.
Jeez, that's terrible.
I doubt the mountain will survive to get a POV.
He might have one as Jon, crushes him.
Yeah. He looked okay. I did this. People eyeing them and whispering about the juicy gossip that he no doubt expected to spread like wildfire. Oh no. The Jaime Lannister of the King's Guard and Garion's nephew, bested in the practice yard by Ned Stark's bastard. And Jaime couldn't find it in his heart to dispute that fact. The boy was clinical, because clinics exist here. Clinical with a blade, sharp and precise with his strikes, impenetrable, calculated with his defense.
Impenetrable.
So I think we know what he's planning here. Sir Arthur Dane.
I like how Jamie took the loss much better in A Song of Ice, Lightning, and Fire.
It was a good fight.
Granted, Jamie is within reach of Barristan, so
Sir Arthur Dane, the quiet shadow, the voiceless, one of the Kingsguard. Not as important as Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard. Was the best man he'd ever come against in the practice yard. Was being the important
Oh,
word in that
no.
sentence.
Oh no.
John is stronger than Arthur Dane.
According to
Legitimately.
Jamie.
This
According
is
to
not
Sir
just Arthur
Jamie
Dane.
Lannister of the King's Guard and Garion's
And Garion's
nephew,
nephew.
Jon is better than Sir Arthur
Arthur.
Dane, the Quiet
Not just
Shadow.
Arthur Dane. This is an Arthur Dane with another, what, 17 or 18 years of experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he still sucks, okay? He legitimately had doubts now after what had just occurred just a few moments ago. What was even more depressing was that he was almost sure that John had been holding back somewhat against him. He felt humbled. That was a very rare occurrence for him. It's like the old white bull will be successful in finding new blood for the order for when he's gone. Yeah, okay. Nice assumption there, buddy.
Why would he assume that?
Because all men want to be knights and all. Yeah, this could be a Jamie characterization thing because all his life he wanted to be a knight and a Kingsguard. Well, not a Kingsguard specifically, but he wanted to be a knight.
Yes, but he actually, the only reason he joined the Kingsguard was because of Cersei.
Indeed.
So that was never one of
She
his
put
dreams.
the idea in his head, but he'd like. I feel like
There's
it's
a
still
certain
something that Jamie
appeal.
would have wanted.
Okay,
I don't know
both
if you've
just
ever
talked over
like.
each other.
Because he
Yeah, I'm
did
sorry.
squire under Sir Arthur Dane.
Yes, but I think that would have instilled more of a competitive edge to be the best swordsman possible, not
I'll say
necessarily become a
it's
Kingsguard.
not all Cersei. Like in Westeros, there's a certain admiration for the Kingsguard.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And he was never interested in being the Lord of Casterly Rock either,
True.
which was his only other option.
Jamie's like Robert. They would have been more at home fighting in a mercenary company.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor
Like, if anyone else had been the queen and Jamie still was a King's Guard, like, he never would have needed his redemption arc, in my opinion.
I mean, in here he doesn't need one either, does he?
No, not in this fic.
Did he really need one in canon either?
I mean, he pushed a child off a tower.
He
So,
kind of did, sort of.
For all we know, that was the freaking Bloodraven's fault.
How do you
no.
know? What? He literally pushes a child out of a. Okay. At this moment in time, though, okay, where was he? No, there was a childlike excitement at the thought of Jon going up against some of his brothers, mainly the Sword of the Morning, whether it be in a friendly spar or in the grand melee itself. At this moment in time, though, he was more interested in what Jon had to show him.
God.
He
I'm
has to
looking
be
at the
doing this
comment, at Everpeach's most recent comment.
Amy was totally justified.
No, the one before that.
Pushed a child out of a tower. Yeah, fuck that cock blocker. Peach.
Yes, Everpeach. Yes.
Aren't you supposed to be writing a story?
Go write your Pokemon fic.
Or hop on here with us.
Like, if you like Pokemon that much, go and no, I was gonna say something mean.
Go write an Ash Betrayal fic.
Yeah, write an Ash Betrayal fic. I dare you.
Make
I'll read it on this stream
hydrogen.
too later.
Go write an Ash Betrayal fic, says the guy who knows nothing about Pokemon.
What?
I know nothing about Pokemon.
Oh,
I mean, you don't really need to know much.
All I know is I've seen you and Ryle talk about Ash betrayal fix.
All I
Those
know
are
is
funny.
hydrogen is the best Pokemon.
You mean Hydreigon?
Yes.
Well, if you say so. I think the best Pokemon is Kirena.
Obviously.
Obviously, the best Pokemon is Meowth.
That Pokemon can make you money. He literally can use a move that increases your money.
I know, that's why he's the best Pokemon.
It's interesting. Okay, yeah. What John had to show him. If it was some sort of proof that his uncle was alive, that he was out there somewhere, then Jon Snow would become his best friend. Whoa, calm down, buddy.
What?
Oh, wow.
That's not how that works. Adam would just have to deal with that shit. Oh my god, he just throws away his best friend.
Just throws away
because-
his best friend because some kid knows his uncle.
Who the hell's Adam?
I'm thinking it's
Marbrand.
Sir Adam Marbrand.
Ah.
Yes. You're right. If it was some sort of trick, then he would make the boy regret getting on the wrong side of House Lannister. Either him or his father would see to that, no problem. Oh, where's Ryle? Where's Ryle when we need him? Wait till my father hears about this. I wish I had a Draco fucking.
My father hear about this.
Wait. Let me. I can YouTube one. Draco, my father will hear about this.
Doesn't he actually only say that like twice or something?
It's like he says it when they get that Forbidden Forest attention.
Correct.
And he
That's it?
says it when
Wait till my father hears about this.
You guys can't hear anything, can you?
no, I heard it.
Wait till
It
my
shows all.
father hears about this.
And yeah, I can hear it.
And then he says it again after Moody turns him into a ferret.
Apparently, he
Yeah,
says
and then
it
Moody-
when they have the broom Quidditch team too.
Yeah, the scene was in there. And probably he talks about his dad when they like go into the Slytherin common room. And probably I think during the time where Hippogriff breaks his hand or arm.
Yeah, that too.
Did it break it or was it just laceration?
Just
I don't know.
slashed his arm a little bit. That Madame Pomfrey healed instantly, and he just milked for a few weeks.
Oh yeah, that's
Either
right.
way,
That's
he's
right.
a whiny little bastard.
Yeah, he's a great character though. I like him.
He is.
Never said he
Yeah.
wasn't.
Hate his person, but love his character.
He's
Like
better than
Joffrey.
Ron.
I don't know about that. Ron went to get his swords back from Jory, captain of the household guard, after their chat. The fact that he carried two swords raised some questions, but he kept them to himself. Jon told the rest of his siblings that he was showing him something and not wait around for him, to the little sister's annoyance. He chuckled when he saw the glare Jon was shot by the little lady. Seeing Jamie chuckle? Okay. Bran was speechless when they approached and hadn't uttered a word even after they'd set off towards camp. The boy clearly couldn't believe what had just happened, and he wasn't the only one with some of the looks he received on the way here. He'd lost a spar, not grown a second head, he thought, exasperatingly. It reached Jon's tent, but not without receiving some comments, mainly from the biggest culprit in more ways than one. Let me guess. I saw this, and I know exactly who it is. Haha! I see you've harpooned yourself a proper pretty one there, eh, Snow? Ha! Great John Umber bellowed out to the amusement of the rest of the camp. You have to be gentle with him. Don't want him walking funny during the melee. Ha ha! Great John japed as the rest of the camp grew with laughter. Oh my god! I get it. I get it. He fucking he's a fucking crass fellow. We get it. Before he could retort, Jon was replying to the giant of a man. Shut off, you daft cunt. Oh my god, this is how you talk to one of the lords of the realm?
Maybe if you want whipped through the streets.
Shouted back at the man. I'll make you walk funny if you don't bugger off. Jesus Christ. finished as the Lord of Last Hearth chuckled in response. Clearly, the two of them being friends due to the fact that the Great John hadn't come over and thumped him. Thumped him? You think he would just thump him for a comment like him saying he'll fuck his asshole?
Yeah, I feel like Dirk is trying to project Tormund onto Great John.
Yep, he is.
I don't know. If the Great John had had a few drinks, he'd probably do it.
But he's in the middle of a camp.
Yeah, in the middle of the day.
That's if
It's
he
not.
can
It's
even do
this
that.
isn't happening at a feast.
Yeah, it's not like he's in his cups or something.
Hey, you don't know. He could be day drinking.
Yeah, that's fair. He mused. John seemed to bring up even more questions than answers at the moment. Queen Raella was definitely right to investigate. John chuckled to himself as he opened the flap of his tent and held it open for him to walk in. It was big enough for a lad of John's size.
Yeah.
Enough room for him to kip down and adequate space for his belongings. He instantly scanned the tent in the hopes of seeing this elusive evidence of his uncle's survival. In the corner, he spotted a pile of furs covered in little white hairs that seemed to have been fashioned into some sort of nest or bed for a dog. Probably one of those dire wolves that had been whispered about, he presumed. In the other corner, why do I feel like this is a fucking boxing match? Closer to what he assumed was John's bed was a couple of bags. Bags John was moving over to. I hate this kind of writing. Like, there was a bag here. A bag that he was doing. Okay, there was a bag that, this is unnecessary. People who
Is it,
write like
though?
this.
Like that kind of writing is something you use for poetry, not
Poetry
for
or
plot.
like I would expect let's see, a person in front of like a campfire with a bunch of people and he's telling a story, right?
Yeah,
Dramatic
yeah.
effect. But in actual writing, no. No. Dylan, don't do this.
I know better. Zero. I help write fix. I at least know better than this.
I'm sorry. That was just too fun. God, I like baiting you, man. I don't know why. Something about it just gives me pleasure. He's happy,
feel
by the
sullied
way.
and unusual.
It brings Zero happy baiting Dylan. One might say he's a master at it.
Unusual.
I was about to say that. Oh, shit. He's happy, by the way. Doesn't half make me want to hit him sometimes, though. John said. Doesn't what?
No idea.
I don't fucking know either. Who? Oh.
Who?
He replied, furrowed brow in confusion. Lord Umber. John shook his head. Garion, your uncle, he answered. John chuckled to himself. He took the piss out of me so much, but I could always tell it was out of love. He's a good man, that uncle of yours. It sounds... Okay, tense change here. Just like the man that had disappeared all those years ago. A man that him and Tyrion were so incredibly fond of. Always the first person to tell them if they were being a dick. Always japing about things he really shouldn't have been japing about. The only man who has ever managed to get a chuckle out of their father. He wanted to believe him so much, but he couldn't without proof. Wait, didn't Tywin like half dislike the guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the entire reason he Garion left is because he felt the pressure of his brother and he wanted to do something to prove his worth.
Yeah.
Yep. And yet again, Tywin used to smile and laugh before his wife's death.
His wife is the one who. Okay, let's not get into that. Okay, story time. He cleared his throat as he took a seat on the ground. Where is he? He asked as John started fiddling with a strap that held one of his bags tightly shut.
He's in
On an,
fake
I-
Japan.
on an island called Shikoku, in a city called Kochi, John responded. And where the fuck is that? He asked what he was thinking, and John
Wait,
answered.
what? Did he actually?
Yeah. Jamie thought, and where the fuck was that?
Thought it, and then he said it, and then John answered. The answer, oh my god, this again.
The answer turned out to be very unexpected.
Oh. A few months out by boat, west of Westeros, he answered nonchalantly like it was something completely sane to say. What the fuck? Okay.
I
He shook his head. Dylan? I'm not going to say anything. He shook his head. He didn't know what game he was playing. You're lying. Nobody's stupid enough to sail west of Westeros. Even if they are, they don't come back, he said. Something came to him as well. In fact, my uncle Garion didn't even sail west. He sailed east through
Oh
the
God.
smoking
Oh
sea
God.
of Valyria.
I have an idea. I know why they're going to say they don't sell back. Because it's so much better over there.
I'm guessing, yeah. My uncle Garion didn't even sail west. He sailed east through the smoking sea of Valyria on his batshit crazy quest. Someone should make a game and call it Batshit Crazy Quest. Explain further.
That's for D&D. Someone do a D&D of that. Batshit crazy quest.
You do it. You're the D&D guy here. No, Myth is the better D&D guy.
I'm about to say, I've been playing D&D for less than a year.
I've been playing D&D since I haven't actually.
Poor
John,
Zero.
stop missing.
I've been playing D&D for about 8 years.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
Exalted Lord Myth of the beard.
John, stop messing with the strap on his bag and stroked his beard. Oh, that's what he stroked. Looking thoughtful. I always did wonder how he ended up where he did. He
His
told me he sailed.
magnificent, insanely thick, luscious beard.
Yes, even Myth's beard cannot compare. Right, Myth? Yeah. He told
One
me
of the
he sailed.
people I work with, we did a video chat today, and they have a beard longer than Myth's.
What?
Yes.
No.
It's legit tucked into their waistband long.
I'm
Myth, how
working
does
on
this
it.
make you feel? Oh, okay. He's going to catch up to him. Like the super beard guy is going to be destroyed by Myth's Super Beard 2, which is stronger than Super Beard 1.
I'll just put myself into a coma, and when I come out of it, my beard will be down to my feet.
That's fair.
Because hair grows faster when you're asleep.
Ed? Probably no. Actually, yes. Or does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Told me, okay. Past the Manticore Isles and even past Ashai before passing out from hunger sailing up the Saffron Straits. Told me he'd rather die from starvation than to some freaky witch torture that they do in that area of the world. The blokes from Kochi boarded this ship in the middle of the ocean and towed him back to shore. Middle of the ocean? He woke up in a foreign land with foreign people who spoke a foreign language. Ah, okay. I didn't. Could you tell me, like, was there something foreign about it?
Foreign.
And they wielded foreign weapons in their foreign
That are
clothing.
better than our weapons.
He
Oh,
was scared shitless. Turned out they were decent people and nursed him back to health. He decided to stay, learn the culture, and make a home for himself. The rest, as they say, is history. By the way, the punctuation for this conversation is complete garbage. John explained
Oh,
before
yeah.
going back to his back and working on the straps. How long has he been working on these fucking straps?
too long.
The bag, right?
He's working on the straps that the swords are in. For the bags the swords are in.
Too
Yeah, like he's just trying to open a bag.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it takes to say all this? I literally said it. It took me a few minutes. You think it takes you a few minutes to undo the straps on a bag?
Unless he was just sitting there fiddling with the straps, stalling for time.
Or do you think would he stroke his beard for a few minutes? No, that's not how that works.
Or there's multiple straps on the bag and they're all locked.
Yeah, okay. He just sat
He's
there in
actually
amazement.
smart and decides to, lock up the Valyrian steel weapons that are worth a fortune.
Didn't he like leave them unopened? Like, didn't he leave them like opened in Winterfell? Like, no biggie. And he
Yeah.
just straight up left Winterfell and left the swords there.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah, I
dumbass.
thought. I don't know, man. The fuck had he just been told? Something didn't add up though. But you said you sailed west. He went east. He questioned. John chuckled as he finally pulled away one of the straps. Oh! All this time,
Finally.
just one strap. I don't know how many straps there are, but
He
that's
just
one
got
step.
one.
That
Yeah,
is a
What's up?
life fail.
indeed it is. Yeah, I always wondered about that. Even Garion was stumped when I asked him about it. He said as he shrugged his shoulders.
Fate Japan is so magical that sailing any way you will get to it.
This
It
is
has
this is
auto
Dirk.
teleport.
This is Dirk not knowing how to explain spherical Earth theory versus flat Earth.
Which is sad.
Maybe it's something to investigate at some point. I wouldn't mind taking a little adventure. John finished with a
I
laugh.
mean, spherical Earth wasn't a new concept in medieval times.
No, it wasn't.
Like,
But I don't
in
know what it would have
fact,
been
like
new.
flat Earth was a new concept.
Spherical would make more sense because you could just see the curvature. Especially if you go up a hill or something, or mountain.
But
People
Zero,
instinctively knew. What's
the
up?
Earth is flat. There can be no curve.
Yeah, I like to say that a lot in my server. It tends to trigger people. It's funny. He's mad. That's the only explanation. He thought and told him so. Oh my god, more of this shit. He thinks it and then he says it. And then he says it again. God
I mean,
damn it.
the fact that you say something means that you think it. The only time you should put someone's thoughts in on the page is if those thoughts are not then said out loud.
By the way, you got Everpeach started with the Greeks and the Romans. You know, I think Peach is more into Romans and Greeks than you are. Your name is literally Myth.
I don't care about their history. I just like the mythology. And yes, I knew this stuff about them knowing the Earth was round.
Yes, Zero. Myth only likes to learn about Jupiter, the Greek god of flowers.
Flowers. I didn't expect that. The last part. Oh shit. Mad. Fucking insane. What made you think I'd believe any of what you just said? None of what you've said proves anything you've said. Okay. None of what you said. Okay. What makes you think I'll believe anything you just said? None of what you've said proves anything you've said. Okay, we got that covered?
Yeah.
Okay. Just so you know, he said some things that he doesn't
I'm
believe in.
I'm not too sure, but I think I got it.
I can say it again if you like, okay? So he doesn't believe anything of what he said because nothing of what he said proves that he's said anything.
God damn it, Zero. I'm feeling my
Okay?
brain cells die.
He growled out as John finally got into his bag before hauling a black leather scabbard out of it, a sword within its confines. He grabbed the hilt of the blade, Jamie noticed the pommel of it was made of gold, in the shape of a lion's head. His eyes what? His eyes what? Dylan?
What are his eyes owning?
Dylan.
I'm ignoring it.
Why would you write like this, Dylan?
I can't believe you would do something like this.
I take no credit for this.
Uh,
This is all Zero's fault.
his eyes narrowed at that. His heart rate picking up. What's it picking up? The slow unsheathing of the sword revealed the smoky patterns of that elusive and sword. Okay, I'm just in the same spot. I'll sort the after treasure. Is that like an aftertaste? After treasure? A medal of such rarity. The solid gold lion's head on the pommel. The polished Valyrian steel. His eyes something widened in realization and excitement. Maybe this is enough evidence? John questioned with a smirk on his face. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The sword. His uncle's survival. The mad as fuck stories. They were all real? I don't. Okay, calm down there. Yeah, if I saw John with a sword that was supposed to belong to Garion, wouldn't the first thought be, did John kill the
What
guy
did you
and take the
do
sword?
to Garion?
Yes, why
Like,
isn't
what did
Gary
you do
back?
to get that sword?
Like, why did Garion trust a random bastard from the north? It doesn't matter how skilled he is at swordplay. If anything, the skill with the swordplay would point to him killing Garion.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Jamie is
John.
way too trusting.
Oh yeah, he is. He looked at John with a he looked at him with a look of disbelief. Okay, just absorb that for a second. A smile blooming on his face as he eyed the sword up and down. Okay, so he's looking at John with a look of disbelief, and then he eyes the sword. So he's looking at John, but he also eyes the sword at the same time.
I now
He's
believe
looking at
Jamie can control-
he's eyeballing John's sword.
I now believe Jamie can control both of his eyes at once, and his eyes.
No, he's right. He's right. He's technically looking at John when he's eyeing his sword, because it's part of John, right? Because
Yeah.
it worked. Okay, I understand now.
It was exquisite.
I didn't even see this. Oh my god. Okay.
I
Dylan,
don't know what to say to this.
Dylan, what the fuck is this? John handed it to him, and he gripped it like it was made of glass.
Oh
Valve
god.
was perfect. The steel was perfect. Everything was perfect about it. He made John jump slightly when he sheathed it back in his scabbard in a flash. He looked at this boy. No, that wasn't fair. This man.
Oh God.
Oh
He looked
god.
at this man with
Oh
determination.
no.
He could kiss Queen Raella for suggesting this if it wasn't for the fact that it would probably cost him his head in the process. Why would it cost him his head?
Kissing the Queen Mother?
If they do it in private, I mean, nobody would know. Except her. And, she's single
Even
these
then,
days.
why would it cost him his head?
She's single these days, though. Might be a little lonely. John
I'm
was
sure she
looking
has a
back at him.
consort.
Possibly.
It's
Looking
called
back at
John.
him. I don't think she has a consort. I don't think Dirk is smart enough to give the old woman who's feeling lonely a consort. With a quirked eyebrow at the determined look Jamie was giving him, he cleared his throat.
She should have a consort. Targaryens are freaky.
I think you and me need to go and pay my father a visit. Wait till my father hears about this.
My
Jamie
father.
is Draco confirmed.
Instantly into Tywin. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not ready for this. I'm
That
not
is
at all
an
ready for a Tywin.
interesting thought for a fic.
What is?
Draco reborn as Jamie.
Oh, Draco be reborn as Joffrey. What do you? Draco was a lazy
I just don't see that working.
He
Which-
would be a
But
disgrace to House
Draco is
Lannister.
Joffrey, yes. Draco is Jamie, no.
His personality wouldn't, because Jamie was a hard he was a hard studier of
Yeah.
swords. Draco is more of a pussy. I mean, unless how old is Draco when he would be? If he was like in his 40s or something and he dies, then at that point, yeah, he would probably be fine.
A Hogwarts age Draco being
Oh yeah, that would
reborn,
work.
no.
Now, let's see how Dirk characterizes Tywin Lannister.
Oh
No,
god, this is gonna
The-
suck.
I'm sorry, no. The great Tywin Lannister. It's like, you know how it's the great Harry Potter? This is the great Tywin Lannister.
Harry Potter reborn as Tywin.
That's
Can't
great.
even walk into a bookshop without making the front page.
Leave me, he said to the steward as he sat down at his table. Oh, his table inside his tent, a cocoon of red and gold. He sighed in annoyance at what the boy had just told him. Trouble between the Clegane brothers was the last thing he needed. They'd only just arrived and set up camp around the grounds of Arenal. He thought sending Sandor to Storm's End in service of his daughter. And told you,
Oh,
Ennis,
I guess I was thinking of a different fic.
in service of his daughter and her brood, would cool tension between the two, especially with how many years it had been. And also, Sandor is Joffrey's dog. Again,
I wonder how Stannis and Cersei would get along if they had been married.
Stannis would dominate, and Cersei would be miserable, but not because Stannis loved another woman, but because he was a fucking.
Because
Didn't
she
wanna do
wouldn't
other
have
shit.
any power.
He wouldn't have any power, and he would never show her any passion.
I don't know about the passion. He didn't show his other wife any passion because he wasn't attracted to her.
Oh, you think
But he
You
showed
think Cersei's
Melisandre
gonna-
plenty of passion.
she's gonna make his loins burn?
The fire! The fire!
You got it.
I was gonna keep going, but no,
No. What's
he
up?
would definitely not. He would train her well.
I thought you were trying to read because I said, but no, here. Okay. They were already butting heads, and Tyrion's warning about bringing the two of them together, having the potential for trouble, was coming to fruition. He shook his head and gritted his teeth at the thought of seeing that smug grin on his face the next time he saw him.
I'm sorry.
Tywin would be smart enough to know it was a bad idea to bring the Cleganes together.
He's not stupid.
Apparently, he is now.
Yes.
He's gonna be stupid so Tyrion can be smart.
Oh,
It also
no.
meant that if Sandor had been spotted, then the Stormlands had made good time and arrived shortly after them. It also meant that he'd be graced by his daughter and his insufferable grandson. Oh, God.
What?
Oh, no. Joffrey's still the same.
What?
What
But
happens?
Tywin doesn't think of him like that.
We'll see what happens.
He thinks of him
He's-
as moldable.
I mean, this isn't canon, so we'll see what happens. His steward returned to his tent and spoke up. "My lord, your son is here to see you. He's brought a guest," the boy announced.
And this is where Tywin falls to his knees to suck Jon's cock.
He gritted his teeth even
This-
harder.
This goes right to swallowing Jon's sword.
Yep. As a whoosh of air escaped his nostrils in the attempt to calm his ire. Wow, okay. A whoosh of
Wait,
air
what?
escaped his nostrils.
Why is his ire needing calmed?
I don't know. This was all he needed. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. It was like the gods were mocking him.
He's
Oh,
assuming that it's Tyrion that has brought a guest.
Why would he assume it's Tyrion? Tyrion doesn't want anything to do with Tywin most of the time.
Because he was thinking about Tyrion.
Yeah. Tyrion always wanted his father's approval.
Yes, but that doesn't mean he comes to visit him randomly in his tent.
Eh,
Sounds like you don't want to spend time with the great Tywin Lannister.
What?
You heard me. Send Tyrion in. The quicker this is over, the better, he replied to his steward as he poured himself a goblet of arbor. But is it arbor gold?
No, it's Arbor Bronze.
It's
no,
obviously
it's Arbor Wood.
Yes, he's running out of gold in Castle Rock. So he needs to...
excuse you. It's actually arbor fuchsia. Okay.
It's Arbor Pinecone.
God damn it, my lord. Sir Jaime
It's
was.
Arbor Acorn.
You guys are getting worse by the second here.
Arbor
Yes.
Cherry Blossom.
Arbor chicken wing. That's better.
Arbor
My lord,
Sakura.
that's actually honestly, I'd try it. Sir Jaime
Arbor
wishes to
Sasuke.
see you. Not Lord Tyrion. I apologize for the confusion, his steward explained. The boy knew his place and apologized for his mistake. Somebody was trying to please
what
him
mistake?
because he didn't specify that it's Sir Jaime and Lord. He didn't specify that it was Sir Jaime of the King's Guard and Garion's favorite nephew.
nephew.
Oh yeah, it's not his favorite, just his nephew. Somebody was trying to please him. He then realized what the boy had just said. Send him in, he replied as the young steward bowed and left the tent to retrieve his son.
Oh, good lord. He's going to gush over Jaime, isn't he?
He'd not seen Jaime in nearly a year. The last time was when he visited the capital for business reasons. The boy was still in love with his Kingsguard vows enough to refuse his offer, to hand his resignation in to his king and return home where he belonged in preparation to take
Wait.
over when he passed. You cannot resign.
Ugh.
It's like literally the only way out is death until Joffrey decided to release Barristan.
Yeah, like he dismissed him from
Stupidest
service.
fucking decision ever.
It was an empty wish, he admitted. His idiotic son was dead set on wasting his life away guarding the king. His eldest son and heir had chosen to be a
Idiotic is not
glorified...
the right word there.
What's up?
I feel Tywin would have used stubborn because he doesn't think Jaime is an idiot.
Possibly. His eldest son and heir had chosen to be a glorified bodyguard over becoming Warden of the West. It was always a source of rage for him. The steward returned with his son, decked out in his white and gold armor, and a pristine white cloak of his precious Kingsguard, a tool of protection and nothing more. Okay? He felt his ire rise at the thought of that. And we get it, he's angry all the time.
This is not Tywin.
The second man who followed his son was a different story. He'd never seen or met him before. Intrigue. Roll credits. Chapter title.
The first thing he
Bubbles,
would notice would be Jon has no sigils on him, and he would dismiss him immediately.
There you go. Intrigue bubbled as he wondered why his son, a member of the King's Guard, in case you didn't know, his son is in the King's Guard, was presenting this man to him. His son nodded in his direction as he sternly looked at him. The man next to him, however, decided to look around the tent with interest before locking eyes with him and nodding eventually. He already disliked this boy. Amy cleared his throat. Father, good to see you again, his son said to him as he carried on looking at the stranger in his tent.
How
His
many
coloring-
paragraphs do you think he will dislike Jon for?
Not
Place it
too
back.
many.
I think I missed like the last 5 seconds of you guys talking.
I said, how many paragraphs do you think he will dislike Jon for? Place your
Probably
bets
like
now.
less than 10.
I was gonna go
Actually,
maybe
I don't know.
6.
I don't know. Dirk has a tendency to just take one fucking scene and make it as long as 20. So I have no idea.
You know what? Jon's probably gonna be an asshat, so and
We'll see
that'll be
what
stretched
happens.
out a while. I'll go maybe 15 paragraphs.
Well, we're at paragraph 1 here. His coloring and clothing were obviously northern, but a closer look showed something more. The boy had a couple inches on his son to his petty annoyance. He had a powerful frame which screamed warrior, a neatly
What?
trimmed beard. Oh,
So what? John is like 6'2"?
I don't know. It covered his features, but not enough to tell that there were more than northern roots to this boy. The eyes, though. The eyes what?
They burned with a nobility he had never seen before.
The color of liquid silver were staring right back at him, refusing to break contact with his emerald gaze first. He was both annoyed and impressed by his confidence. Oh,
You know, if
starting to
you're
like
going to
him.
describe the eyes, you might as
Chapter
well do
one,
it right.
paragraph 1, he's starting to like him.
Wow.
Either confidence or stupidity. It was too early to say without him opening his mouth.
I need to say this better. If you're going to describe eyes, you have to do it right. That was not right.
His emerald orbs. Yes, you're right. His orbs. Looking at him with with orbs of liquid silver, gazing into the orbs of emerald.
We have a canon description for Tywin's eyes that he should have used it.
He broke eye contact, which, just so you know, it was an emerald orb gaze.
No,
Okay?
it's not.
And looked at his son, but didn't miss the slight upturn of the northerner's mouth. Jamie, he nodded. Who is your friend? He asked as he looked back into those silver orbs again with his own emerald orbs. This is Jon. Jon Snow, Lord Stark's son. His son replied with a smile. Ned Stark's bastard. So this was the runaway son. He didn't even know that he'd been found. The last he heard about him was in the raven he'd received from King's Landing, asking him to keep a lookout for the bastard of Winterfell. Safe to say that that piece of parchment had been thrown into the fireplace without a second thought.
What?
I would have done that. This is accurate.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Because this is a way to increase political standing if he retrieves the boy himself.
A bastard?
The Lord Stark literally sent ravens everywhere. It means that the bastard is important to him.
But now that the bastard was approaching him as he stood from his chair, the years away from his home hadn't been unkind to the boy, that was for certain. Snow held his hand out and Tywin grasped it. Yes, because great lords of the realm shake hands with bastard children.
Do they even shake hands in A Song of Ice and Fire? I can't remember.
They probably do the hand grasp, right?
I would hope so. That there's a reason that people did that.
To show that they weren't carrying steel.
Yep.
But why would a lord of the realm grasp hands with a bastard boy?
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't. He would expect him to bow his head or kneel.
As he actually should.
As he looked him dead in the eyes. A strong grip and determined stare the boy had. He didn't know if he was trying to intimidate him or impress him, but he refused to allow either of those things happen. Snow released his grip first and turned back to Jamie. It was his turn to smirk. Who could play at that game, boy? What?
What?
The smirk slowly fell from his face when he realized
this man through the streets.
He'd been sucked into a childish battle of wits.
Wits? They barely talked.
Oh, just so you know, the master of character interactions, Tywin Lannister, has been sucked into a childish battle of wits by Jon Snow. That's how amazing he is.
Oh.
You don't understand. This is how amazing Jon is. The characters lose their minds. They no longer behave as they usually do because Jon's personality is so powerful. It's so amazing. Jon, he's so cool. He's so edgy.
I can't.
And by the slight smirk Jon had on his face when he stood back next to Jamie, that was the plan all along. Didn't know whether to be impressed or annoyed. Again, dude, if this was the actual Tywin Lannister, he would have had that guy flogged just for daring to try to grasp his hand. quite literally, like 3 paragraphs before. Well, okay, a few paragraphs before when he, where was it? Here, the boy knew his place and apologized for his mistake. Somebody was trying to please him, and then it's just straight up goes to John. Like John's, I wouldn't say plot armor, but it's kind of like, okay, plot contrivance armor.
I'd go full out plot armor. I'm sorry, but
I wouldn't, because it's not the plot that's protecting him.
It's the characters being stupid when he's around.
I mean,
Where were we? He refused to even choose as Jamie looked back and forth between him and Snow. Wait.
Tywin's entire rule is built on fear and the power of him.
Yeah, and then some random bastard goes into his tent and essentially disrespects him.
That would be like someone walking into my house and spitting on my face and me not doing anything about it.
Out with it then. I know you've come here for business, not pleasure, so let me hear it, he said to Jamie as he returned to his seat. Jamie sighed but nodded as he lifted a scabbard that had been hefted over his shoulder. In it was a sword with a very interesting pommel. The sword was placed on the table in front of him, and his eyes narrowed as he took in its appearance. His eyes narrowed what? Looked up at Jamie, at Snow, and then back at his son. And what is this? He asked as his eye. Okay, look, his eyes. His eyes. He can clearly do this right. Dropped back down to the sword. The gold pommel in the shape of a lion was an interesting touch, but a new sword wasn't at the top of his priorities list, especially one the size of the great sword laid in front of him. Okay, I'm sorry, but if you see a pommel in the shape of a lion on a great sword, you would at least think this can't be what I think it is. Just the sight of it, you wouldn't think a new sword is not on my priorities.
Wait.
It was Snow. Oh, okay, and Snow has to tell him that who's it from before he can be like, oh, is this what I think it is? Let's see. It was Snow who spoke up before Jamie could, and his words were shocking to say the least. This is something bad writers like to use a lot, to say the least. Compliments of your brother Garyon. In case you didn't know, the brother Garyon is Sir Jamie Lannister's uncle. And if you didn't know, Sir Jamie Lannister is of the King's Guard. And he's Garyon's nephew, okay? He told me to say hello from him too, by the way. He looked back up at the boy with fire in his eyes as his nostrils flared. It seemed to have zero effect on the bastard as he growled out his response. What is that supposed to mean, he said. The fact that Jamie hadn't looked shocked or angry after the boy had opened his mouth spelled out the obvious, but he refused to accept that until he got to the bottom of it. This scene.
His first thought would be Jamie was tricked.
This scene is so bad. Like, this isn't even funny. This is just bad. Snow grinned. Oh, he's doing the thing again. Snow grinned. A grin he really wanted to wipe off his face. Jamie was grinning as well as he nodded towards the sword. Unsheath it. That'll give you a good idea what he's talking about. His son explained. Oh, as if... Does Tywin have no agency? He sees the sword with a pommel and he doesn't think, oh, whoa, what is this? And he unsheathes it. Like, if I was writing this scene, they would hand him the sword, right? And he would ask, what is this? And they would just stare at him, right? Because, the whole dramatic effect. And he sees the pommel and he's like, what is this what I think it is? And all he has to do is just pull it very slightly and he'll see the Valyrian steel. He'll stop for a moment and then he'll pull the whole thing out.
If someone hands you a weapon, you're going to examine it anyway.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though, right?
Oh, I know.
Like, yeah, they could just tell him, yeah, just look at it. If he didn't look at it, like if he just looks at it as if, oh, I'm not touching this, and then Jamie will be like, oh, no, just you'll like this, And then he'll take Jamie for his word, pull the sword out a little bit, notice that it's Valyrian steel, pull the whole thing out, and just realize this is Bright Roar. But instead, he has to be told to unsheath it.
Oh, he's also, since when is Bright Roar immensely sized for a great sword or something?
I don't know. Let's see. Bright Roar. I thought it was a long sword between you and me.
No, it's a great
No, it's a
sword.
great sword. You're right. It's a great sword.
But it's not ice. And it's not a great sword, to be honest, but then again, none of the great swords in A Song of Ice and Fire are great swords.
Yeah, ice was too big anyway. But anywho.
And yet John uses it.
He carried on looking at Jamie, waiting for a sign of anything, but the grin stayed on his son's face. Jamie nodded back at the sword, and with one last look at John, he looked back at the sword. Tywin Lannister was never excited, never impatient, but he felt a drop of the two as he slowly unsheathed the sword. Yeah, we get it. It's a sword. 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 The more leather that slipped away from the steel of the blade, the more eager he grew to pull away the rest with his... Oh my god. The smoky ripples in the steel were presented to him more and more as the scab... Oh my god, this is so bad.
Oh my god.
Dylan.
No.
What the fuck, Dylan?
How could you write something like this?
Fuck off, both of you.
Valyrian steel. The scabbard was fully separated from its blade, and he looked up and down the treasure with a blank face void of emotion. It wouldn't do him any favors if he lost his school now, even though inside his mind he was purring like the creature on their house banners. Do lions purr?
Yes.
Do lions purr? Lions might if they could, but they can't. They cannot purr.
Are you sure about that?
Purring and roaring are mutually exclusive, so lions, tigers, leopards, and jaguars are all incapable of purring. Yep, they cannot purr. They can make gurgling noises that sound purr-like, but they're not purrs.
Oh, they can chuff.
Anywho, he wasn't stupid. He was far from it, in fact. I think it's pretty stupid if he needs to be told to unsheath a sword he's being presented. He knew what this was. The Valyrian steel, the solid gold lion pommel, the mention of his until now presumed dead brothers. The links were there. This was Bright Roar, the long-lost Valyrian sword of House Lannister.
I'm
and it was
sorry,
back.
but what the fuck? Bright Roar is literally on the blade. It's engraved on the blade.
Is it?
According to George, it is from one of his interviews.
I think this dude does not know about that interview. And also, if we don't trust Rowling's interviews, I think
I'm sorry,
can't
but George is competent.
season 8.
That's not his fault.
Yeah. Okay. Now came the negotiation, he thought. There was no way this sword was leaving his sight now that he was in possession of it. True to a famous old saying, a Lannister always pays their debts, and a substantial one was sat on the table in front of him. No. The man stood a few feet away, waiting to collect his fee.
What?
I think this is one of the first times I've ever seen my father speechless. Jamie spoke
no,
up into
no,
the
no, no,
silence of the
no.
tent. Yes, because Jamie likes to make these comments to random bastards.
I just had a thought.
Okay.
Tywin's going to offer a reward and John is going to refuse it.
Yeah? You didn't see that coming?
No, I did.
He's either gonna refuse the offer or he's gonna ask to make Joy's life better.
Either way, Tywin would be insanely insulted.
Jamie spoke up into the silence of his tent. I mean, he wouldn't be insulted if John did the whole, yeah, I owed your brother and so I took this here for you. You don't have to pay. Like, I don't think he would begrudge someone that. He looked up and saw his son nudging
What?
Snow in the arm in jest. What?
What'd you say?
Said he would understand if John says that Garion sent him with the sword. Not for payment, just to a friend sending a friend to the friend's brother. It's not he wouldn't reject that, and he wouldn't even feel insulted by that. So I don't know.
John's not going to say that.
We don't know what he's gonna say. I haven't read this part. How much? He interrupted before Jamie got carried away with his incessant mockery. Looked towards Stowe and repeated the question. How much? He said again. The quicker he could get this business over and done with, the quicker he could get rid of everyone from his tent, so he could pour himself a large goblet of arbor gold and just stare at the majesty of their family heirloom, in the privacy of his tent where nobody could see him smiling. Snow quirked his eyebrow and shook his head. I'm not here for your money. Garion specifically asked me to deliver it back to House Lannister. It never belonged to me in the first place, so you owe me nothing. The boy said as he stroked his beard, his majestic, well-trimmed beard. And see, this is a good reason. Now, if John were smart, he would have asked for money. But he's doing the whole my friend
Offered 1 million, 1.5 million dragons for
No,
a
but why would
sword
he?
that was not Bright Roar.
Why would John care? He has a dragon. Everyone, you owe me nothing. Has to be a trick. Nobody just gives away such a thing. Selling it could have set him for life. Before the boy could change his mind, though, he decided not to look a gift horse in the mouth. Fine. House Lannister would like to thank you for your service, he replied as he gave the boy a nod. It was the least he deserved for delivering the sword. His son seemed mortified by his response. Really? That's it? He comes here and brings this back where it belongs, and all he gets is a thanks? Jamie said as he pointed at Bright Roar and looked at him in annoyance. He would have to have a word with his son after Snow left. Speaking like that at him was bad enough behind closed doors, but in front of company, totally unacceptable. You heard Lord Snow. It was a service to House Lannister. You should watch who you're speaking to. Why would he call him Lord Snow? He replied to his insolent son with gritted teeth.
To be
This is
fair,
so weird.
Tywin would raise someone up to be a lord of a household.
Yeah, but
they
that
brought him
doesn't mean.
Bright Roar.
Why would he call him Lord Snow if he didn't raise him up?
He wouldn't.
Unless this is kind of like if I scroll down and I see John be like, Lord, I'm no Lord, and then he says, you are now.
You're a
Snow
lord
cleared
now,
his
boy, and you're gonna like it.
Snow cleared his throat as the two Lannisters butted heads. Not Lord Snow, my lord, just John. And I didn't do it for House Lannister. I did it for a friend of mine, one of my closest, in fact. I couldn't give a dusty fuck about any reward or OWT. As far as I'm concerned, I kept the promise I gave him by returning the sword to its owners. We're square, Chief. Square, Chief. What the fuck? No, this needs to be in dumpster fires. Jesus Christ, what am I even looking at here? Dumpster fires. We're square, Chief. On to Tywin. He looked away from his son, who was now grinning at the boy's response, and locked eyes with just John. He glared at the boy, a glare that made many a man cower underneath it. But to his surprise and annoyance, Snow sent him one of equal intensity back his way. Hard and unblinking silver pools of determination.
Fucking. I just like pools more than orbs right now.
Orbs of determination. This lad had balls. Yes, Those balls of determination right here. He was confident, but it wasn't stupidity anymore. It still didn't excuse the way he spoke in his presence. You're an ill-mannered individual, aren't you? He said. The boy grinned, but kept his eyes locked with his own. I learned from the best. Your brother is a master in the art of insolence, Snow replied, and for a split second, Tywin Lannister's mask cracked as a tiny upturn at the corner. Did it really make him smile? His son can't even make him smile. Now some random bastard.
His other brother can't even make him smile.
You know what?
His sister cannot make him smile.
I was gonna blame you, Dylan, but honestly, this is obviously Peach's fault.
Yeah, it's all ever Peach.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Or
I
it's
don't know what to-
Noah's. It could be Noah's.
Yeah, Noah's. What's he doing anyway?
He's posting food.
Oh. Should I remove them to be a dick? And that does look good. Except the raw meat that he's eating. What the fuck is
I'm about
that?
to say that steak looks raw as hell. It doesn't even look seared.
Raw steak, bro? You good?
It looks like
Nice.
someone. It looks like someone cut it off the cow and put it on the plate.
It looks like he just
Yeah,
ripped the
that-
cow's leg off.
It looks like it would hurt. It looks like it would physically give you illness.
Yeah.
No, Peach, this is all your fault. We will not fuck off.
It was gone in a flash.
That looks raw.
That
Like if you brought Gordon to this, he would lose his mind. Anywho,
there's a little bit around it that looks a little cooked.
look, man. Yeah, he can eat that small part, but only that part. Anyway,
It looks like if you poke it, it would moo.
and what has this brother of mine been up to that is so important that he couldn't return here with the sword himself? He asked as he saw his son relax from the corner of his eyes. The grin on Snow's face dropped and his eyes widened. Any normal man would have missed it, but Tywin Lannister wasn't a normal man. Sir Jaime of the Kingsguard and Garion's nephew will tell you everything, I told him on the way here. I have to leave. I'm needed somewhere else, Snow explained as he nodded to them both and left the tent before he could even reply. And now he's leaving without being dismissed by the Lord. He can just decide to leave whenever he wants.
Yeah.
His son took the seat across from him and looked at the sword on the table with a smile. Still can't believe it's back, and Uncle Garion is still alive, Jaime seemed to say to himself as Tywin carried on, looking at the tent entrance where Stowe had just walked out. Jaime seemed to notice. He's an interesting one, isn't he? His son said. Very interesting, he thought to himself. He certainly knows how to make an impression. I'll give him that, and only that, he replied as he turned back towards the table and admired the sword once again. He wouldn't be forgetting the name Jon Snow in a hurry, that was for certain. Let me guess, when Jon declares himself, he's going to join him. And we're done with the title. God, that was so.
And now it's
fucking
rainy.
cringe. Yeah, that's
It's our little ray of sunshine.
I can't wait to see how Everpeach ruins this for us.
Good old Everpeach, ruining fictions everywhere.
God damn it, Everpeach, how could you? Let me just drink some water here because we're halfway through the chapter. Well, actually, more like 55%. Speaking of percentages, let me quickly look here. 14.7 and 340.
Speaking
Okay.
of percentages, Everpeach is 100% at fault for this.
Nah,
I agree.
we'll blame this on Australia, just like everything else.
I forgot to do something when I started the stream. This.
Japanese fried kami.
There you go. I feel better now. And just sit up in the chair. Crack my knuckles for no reason. because I'm not actually doing anything but scrolling down. But you know what? I feel better now. You have no idea who that was, she asked to Marjorie's brother as they made their way back towards the castle. She wasn't supposed to be out at the moment, but she couldn't help her intrigue when she heard her grandmother's conversation with Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard, Garian's nephew. She only heard the tail end of it, but heard that. Okay.
Heard.
Somebody was of interest to her grandmother. In case you didn't know, her grandmother is Rhaella Targaryen, possibly a little lonely. The Lonely Queen, okay? Hey, that was a good story.
It was.
You should read it again. It's
It was
amazing.
an excellent story.
That led to her dragging Sir Loras out of the castle and following Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard and Garen's nephew to the practice yards.
Now you should write an
She's-
opposite one where Daphne is the one that kills Harry.
You know what? After the marriage. So she can
Of
collect.
course.
What she'd seen there was very interesting indeed. Her grandmother was rightfully intrigued by this mysterious dark figure. She needed a name so she could do her own investigation. An unknown having the ability to drop a Kingsguard, one of their best, so easily was definitely something worth looking into. That's all
Death
it
by
was.
Snoo.
Planning
Ever
to put-
Peach's most recent comment.
Definitely not Snoo. Something else. A man of such skill could be very useful to them. Maybe even a future Kingsguard. She wouldn't mind being assigned such a man to her services.
Yeah, wink,
Oh, God.
nudge, nudge.
She's already had nothing to do with those raven curls. We're back to those raven curls, gentlemen, that flowed with the same grace as his movements with a blade. Had nothing to do with his powerful form, darting around with such precision and determination, enough to display the power of his body as it pressed against the sleeves of his tunic. How do you feel about this, Dylan?
This is so hot.
You know how I feel about this?
Oh man, I'm a little tiny horny honey.
Had nothing to do with the.
is.
Yeah, she is.
The best part of that is his face right at the end.
It is. Had nothing to do with the brief glimpse of those silver orbs that looked at Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard, Garen's nephew, with such intensity that even she felt something.
Oh.
No, it had nothing. Wait.
He was looking at Sir Jamie with such intensity that even she felt it.
What the fuck?
Fuck's sake.
Peach, bro. Peach, come on. Come on, what is this? What is this? Explain yourself. Had nothing to do with any of those things. Nothing to do with her being. Oh God.
Had nothing to do with her being a little tiny horny honey.
Watching a beautiful man put on a clinic? Against one of the best fighters in the realm. A clinic? Peach, what the hell is this? Who the fuck was she kidding? Joffrey Baratheon, Sir Edmure, and Harold Harding had already approached her since they'd arrived. She already knew that they couldn't compare to the man she'd just seen. She'd not even met the man, and she could already tell he was better than the other three. Any one of those would have gloated and celebrated their victory over Sir Jamie, but not this one. He acted with grace as he helped the Kingsguard he'd just defeated to his feet. Zero posturing in sight. She was that lost in her thoughts. She didn't hear Loris's answer to her question. She turned and looked at him as they got closer to the castle. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Guys,
Huh.
does that look like ribs to you?
What look like ribs?
What Noah is eating?
Oh, I'm not looking, but let me see.
That thing that we said was rare, not rare, alive.
How is that ribs?
Yeah,
That looks like
I'm
it.
not.
Looks
I'm
like
not seeing him say anything was ribs.
He
looks like
said a
steak.
32-ounce prime rib.
That prime rib is not ribs.
Okay.
Have you not had prime rib before, buddy?
I made that mistake when I was younger. So I think I was 10 and my family went to us somewhere and I was wanting barbecued ribs for dinner. But they didn't have the barbecued ribs. All they had was prime rib, and I thought it was just a different name for ribs.
I'm trying
And
to
I
think. I
ordered
don't
it.
think I have had prime rib before.
The waitress looked at me and asked, "How do you want that cooked?" And I looked at her with the most "Are you an idiot?" look in the world. Said, "Barbecued." They brought my food out, and I just sat there looking at it. My parents asked, "What's wrong?" I said, "This isn't ribs." And I just refused to eat it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
He huffed, straightening his sword belt, hand on the hilt of his blade, primed and ready to protect her if it was needed. Really, Your Grace? You were the one to ask me the question, he replied. She shook her head and looked ahead of them. Forgive me. My mind was wandering, that's all. Why would she ask for forgiveness from a servant? Horace chuckled. Nothing to do with tall, dark, and handsome, Your Grace? He japed as she shot him a good-natured glare. And to answer your question, no. I have no idea who that was. Maybe ask Her Grace the Queen Mother who he was. He suggested with a smile on his face. She smiled at a few people she walked past as they bowed for her before turning to him. And if I ask her, she'll know I was eavesdropping on one of her conversations. It's clear that your sister got the brains, I see. She japed as she gave him a wink.
Ain't been dropping no eaves.
That's great. I wish you could be there on Monday.
Huh?
You know Noah's gonna flake on you, right?
Okay. I was
He's a bit-
confused for a minute.
He's
Yeah,
a bit
'cause-
of a flake.
You heard him mutter the word charming as they reached the courtyard of the
Peach.
castle.
Peach, I'm so disappointed in you.
What?
His last comment.
Just went to the dollar store and picked up a few Harlequin romance novels. Okay. I like it.
Oh.
There's a scene with both Boromir and Faramir.
It's added in the extended edition.
Yeah.
It's
Stood at the
brilliant.
main entrance of the castle was Danny. Oh, stood, but was. I still doing it. Was Danny, and she didn't look pleased at all. Where have you been? She asked in a harsh voice. Loris looked at her like he was gonna enjoy this. Why would he look like he was gonna enjoy this? He's derelict in his duty here.
Wait. Boris?
Boris.
Yep.
Did I say Boris?
Oh, Boris. I thought you said Boris.
No, it's Loris.
You need to get your ears checked.
You
She
need to get
shrugged.
your mouth checked.
Saying I have some kind of disease?
Yes.
Danny tagging along with the air of annoyance. I just went to have a look around, that's all. Nothing special, she explained. And you couldn't wait for me? Mother has sent Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard, Garion's nephew, off on some task or whatever. So I've been confined to the castle until he returns. I can't believe you
No,
went without me.
she's been confided to the castle.
I mean, if it's Hogwarts, then it's sentient. Don't
Yep,
you
and
know?
She's been talking to Lady Hogwarts trying to rope her into being part of Harry's harem.
Oh God.
Which Harry are we talking about, though? King of Magic Harry?
Of course.
Oh,
I
until
call
he
Harry.
returns. Danny huffed as they turned a corner. And you missed some of the lords who came to greet us. We had to make an excuse for you when they asked where you were. She explained further, a smirk on her beautiful face as she looked at her. Rhaegar isn't happy, she finished. Brilliant. That's all she needed. Her grace has been eyeing boys. Her lords blurted out as they reached the wing of the castle that held their chambers. Her mouth dropped open for a fraction of a second before turning on the Knight of Flowers, staring daggers at the man.
I'm
Boris.
sorry. Unless
What's
the
up?
king or queen asked him something about that, he shouldn't be saying anything.
Oh, I know, but in Dirk's eyes, every single member of the royal family has the same amount of power.
No,
He
in
bowed
his
his head
eyes,
and-
no, in Dirk's eyes, equality rules. Therefore, everyone has free speech.
Oh yeah, that's why John could talk to fucking Tywin without even getting anything done to him. You're right. Anywho, he bowed his head in apology, but the smile on his face exposed his real feelings of the situation. Oh really? Danny said, a tone with full intent to tease her, all traces of anger lost. She shook her head as they reached the corridor that her room was in. No, not really. Don't listen to him, she said, but Danny and Loris were already grinning at each other. Please don't. But her prayers were in vain as the
Yes,
pair of them
please
decided
don't.
the most interesting thing they could be doing right now was teasing her. What the fuck is this?
And fucking Kingsguard is not going to be teasing the princess that he's guarding.
Worse than that, full intent to tease her. Grinning at each other with the intent to tease her. They're now teasing her. They want
I
their
don't
tease.
know.
Do you get it? They're teasing her though. In case you didn't know, Dylan, they are teasing her, okay?
Shush. Shush.
And did any
Shut
of
your
them take your
diseased mouth
fancy,
hole.
Ray? My little ray of sunshine, did any of them take your fancy? Did any of them make you swoon? Danny said as she pretended to do such a thing herself, just to tease the living hell out of her. In case you didn't know, they're teasing her, okay? Before she could reply and put a stop to her teasing, in case, you didn't know, Laura spoke again. Tall, dark, and handsome, that's what he was like. Unfortunately for her, she never got his name. Loris interrupted again. She'd have to have a word with Marjorie, see if she could get any embarrassing stories about Loris out of her. Or, maybe she could order him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Danny
Hold
sighed for
your
added effect.
tongue.
Before I
Sounds
remove it with red hot pincers.
exactly. It sounds like the start of one of those stories, doesn't it, Sir Loris? She said. Loris snorted, but nodded anyway. And he
After
beat
all, a
Sir
Kingsguard needs his hands and his feet, not his tongue.
Indeed. And he beat Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard, Gideon's nephew, in a spar. Quite convincingly, might I add. Loris explained a little further. Danny quirked an eyebrow at that as she looked back at him before looking at her. They're looking. They're looking a lot. Really? She asked. A tone that sounded like she didn't believe him. A look of annoyance took over her face after a few seconds. Wait, is that where he was? Instead of escorting me around the stalls and what have you? He was out getting filthy in the practice yard? She growled. Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard and Garion's nephew was in trouble.
He actually
looked at-
is if he was supposed to be guarding someone.
He looked at Loris, and he looked a bit scared of Danny's temper. Instead of helping him out, she shrugged her shoulders at him and grinned a little. Serves you right, you gobby cow.
What? Gobby cow?
Yeah, I can understand what Dirk is trying to say with this. Gobby probably means someone who talks a lot.
It does.
Yeah, loudmouth and offensive.
But
But I don't know why she would call him a cow.
that's what I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
Let's get unstuck. Danny huffed when she didn't get a response. Wait until I see that, man. I need to go and speak with Mother about this. Oh, wait till my mother hears about this. Sending him off to
not as good.
Sending him off to play in the dirt wasn't exactly fair on me, Danny said, mainly to herself than them two.
Shit, Draco running to his mom.
Her eyes widened at that, panic building up at a rapid pace. Wait, you can't, Danny, she said as she grabbed the top of her arm. Danny looked down at where she was being held and looked back up into her eyes. Her eyes what?
You know what? Loris might be a Kingsguard, but he's also the son of a great lord.
No, it doesn't matter whose son he is. He's supposed to obey the royal family.
Yes, but they never said to shut up.
Could see the violet in her aunt's eyes darken. That classic Targaryen temper was on full display. Classic? And why is that? She said as she shrugged her hand off of her arm. She sighed in resignation. There was no way of getting around this. Because if she knows that you know where Jamie was, then she'd ask how you knew that, she said. That's a problem. Why? Daniel replied. They were stood just outside of her chambers, so she entered and motioned for Danny to follow her in. She motioned for Sir Loris to keep guard at her door. He'd done enough damage with that massive trap of his. When she did, he nodded and mouthed the word sorry to her. At least he knew he was being a pain in the arse, and she nodded at his apology. Unfortunately for her, Loris's apology was the least of her concerns as she closed the door and turned to her aunt. Annie was stood in the middle of her room with her arms folded across her chest. Enough to squeeze and what? Enough to, okay, squeeze and push her breasts together.
Is this the first time that Dirk has focused on a woman's?
Yeah, it's because another woman is doing it, so it's okay, right?
That's what I was just thinking.
It's okay for women to objectify other women. But it's not okay if men objectify women, but it's totally fine if women objectify men. All right?
Yeah, I get it.
If you don't get it, Dylan, then we must cancel you.
I hate this decade.
Enough to squeeze and push her breasts together. Her cleavage was on full display because of that. Coupled with the fierce look she was sending her way, I don't know, Rorschach talk. Coupled with fierce look she was sending her way, the effect of it conjured up some interesting thoughts.
Wait.
Oh,
Are they sleeping together?
Not yet.
Are you sure?
not till they both start sleeping with John.
He's trying to set up. He's trying to set it up. Danny and the ray of sunshine to set up some kind of mutual attraction between them so that when John comes in the picture, all three of them
They're not
are
going to fight with each other over him. They're going to decide to share.
That is one of the, to be fair, that is one of the more realistic ways you can go about a multi-pairing of about 3 people together.
It was something to think about later, however.
If it's all
Since her
mutual
aunt-
attraction to all 3 together.
He's attracted to her aunt, but it was something to think about later, since her aunt was waiting for an explanation. She cleared her throat. The reason you can't tell grandmother was me who told you about Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard, Garen's nephew, is because she'll find out that I was
You must be
eavesdropping.
canceled.
She explained as she walked over to her table and poured both of them a goblet of Dornish red each. Danny's ire seemed to slowly fade away as she accepted the drink. Why were you eavesdropping? She asked before taking a sip of her wine.
Why were you dropping eaves?
Why?
I wasn't
Why were the
dropping
eaves
on
being
eaves, sir.
dropped? They both sat down at the table next to the window, a wide look of the festivities outside on full display. This tournament was going to be huge. Huge! It's gonna be huge.
Gonna be huge.
Dorne and the Reach hadn't even arrived yet, and the amount of people was staggering. She took a sip of her own wine before answering. I wasn't dropping no eaves on purpose. I just happened to catch the tail end of your mother's conversation with Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard and Garion's nephew. I just thought it was weird. Grandma. Okay, I have to go fucking Southern. I just thought it was weird. Grandma was sending a Kingsguard to spy on somebody. That's all. That's why I needed. That's why I ended up leaving without you. Less people meant less chance of being caught. She explained to her aunt. Actually, the Southern accent would work here because. Yep. Danny seemed to accept her reason as she hummed before taking another sip of her wine. It does seem kind of odd, doesn't it? I wonder what is so special about this man that it warrants a Kingsguard spy, Danny mused. She shrugged since she didn't have the answer herself. That's what I was trying to find out myself. All I did find out was that he was pretty good with a sword, and that was of what I saw. Me and Laura's only got there when they were finishing up. We had to leave pretty much as soon as they finished before anybody spotted us, she said. Danny leaned over the table a little. Wait, so Loris was telling the truth? This mystery man managed to beat Sir Jamie Lannister of the Kingsguard and Garion's nephew? She asked, a little bit of excitement playing in her eyes. She huffed in amusement. He didn't just manage to, Danny. It was pretty convincing. Even Sir Jamie of the Kingsguard, Garion's nephew, looked shocked when he was forced to yield. She explained as pictures of the beautiful sable-haired man jumped around in her head. Pictures? Oh.
I'm
Images.
guessing he's trying to use convincing as a substitute for definitive.
Oh, yeah. Annie must have seen something on her face to give away what she was thinking about, so she leant a little closer and spoke in hushed tones. So what did he look like? Wait, no. So what did he look like? She asked as she sipped from her goblet, amusement and interest behind those violet orb pools, swimming pools of violet orbs.
What? Now I'm imagining a swimming pool full of violet eyes.
She sighed and ultimately lost the battle against the small blush that appeared on her face. Where do I begin? She said. Danny's smile grew. Start from the best bit, she said. She quirked an eyebrow and smiled herself. Which is? She asked. Arse, came Danny's deadpan reply. Okay.
Okay.
She gasped in full offense. This is how you read this. Full. How do you read this, Dylan?
What?
That word.
Give me a second.
Not reading, are you?
No, my screen's a bit blurry. I need to enlarge this. Faux?
It,
Fa?
First one's good. Do you know where this is from, Dylan?
Do I know where it's from?
Yeah.
No.
It's French.
Well, the French aren't important. No wonder.
It means false. Daenerys Targaryen, you filthy woman, she said before the pair of them broke out in laughter. Oh, we're back to John. This, I don't like it. Anywho, the moment he heard Kirena's voice in the back of his mind while he was stood in Tywin Lannister's tent,
His
he had to
soul
leave.
arose.
He had to, yeah, it did. He had to leave to check up on her. If Tywin Lannister was offended by his abrupt exit, then that was just something he would have to deal with some other time. Ever since I started reading Inheritance Cycle, I have the feeling that Dirk is just trying to copy Inheritance Cycle.
So, Myth, how do you feel about this being an inheritance cycle crossover? Kirena is the last.
I noticed that long ago.
No, I'm not.
Well,
done.
I didn't know. I didn't know that was how inherent cycle worked. I didn't know they could like speak to each other in their minds.
Oh, I noticed it a while too. But how do you feel about Karena having been the last of the dragons from Aragon when the land, a new travesty happened from magic in the land, causing everything to change again?
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Now, Master M probably is completely torn to pieces. That's why he cannot speak.
He's probably not going to be able to think of anything else now while we're reading this.
Oh no, I've already made myself forget it.
Uh-huh.
The moment he heard, okay, we did this. At this moment in time, he was wading his way through a forest that took him an hour to get to on foot. He would have taken a horse, but a brisk walk in the afternoon breeze was just what he needed. After the big lunch that he'd had, with when Great John Umber offers you a whole roast chicken for dinner, you eat the whole roast chicken for dinner. What the
What?
fuck is this?
What the fuck?
Also,
When Great John Umber offers you a whole roast chicken for dinner, you eat a whole roast chicken for dinner.
did you get it? If he offers you food, you eat it. Anyway, took him
Sandra
over an
Clegane
hour.
would love this guy.
Listen. The moment he heard Kirena's voice, he had to leave, okay? Which implies there's a sort of crisis going on that requires a rush. However,
It took him over an hour.
took him over an hour. He didn't take a horse.
And he ate lunch.
He ate this is what I mean when I say some people just don't know how to write.
The crisis is on pause until John has finished his lunch.
There's a crisis going on. Better just mess around for a while. It's like he's running as if this is a video game. Like you know how you have that overarching quest?
thinking that.
Yep.
I have to go save the king, but before that, I have to create
Wipe
a
out these
wooden
bandits.
sword. For
We
a
must
child.
save my family.
Oh God, the bandits are coming. Okay,
But first,
what's up?
I have to retrieve some mushrooms.
I feel like I should know where that's from, but like I can sort of remember. He huffed as he climbed over a log to get deeper into the forest. He was thankful that Kirena had the foresight to use forests and wooded areas to land in recent months. He knew at some point that the cat would be out of the bag. Okay, give me a second here. Let's see. Cat out of the bag. Etymology.
To jump.
What?
He didn't get it. One of the we watched SAO Abridged. Come on.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you weren't there. One of the one of the guys in the game stole a bunch of NPCs, and all they do is repeat quest lines. And he also stole the tutorial NPC
Oh God.
to jump.
You have been playing for 4,678 hours. You should take a break.
What if I could, Mom? You're letting the cat out of the bag. Derivation of the phrase is not clear. One suggestion is that the phrase refer to whip-like cat o' nine tails, an instrument of punishment once used on Royal Navy vessels.
And now an instrument of pleasure.
What's a cat o' nine tails?
Cat of
Oh,
Nine Tails
Cat o'
was
Nine
used by the
Tails?
Romans as well.
I know what this. Okay, I've seen this before. I just didn't know what it was called. Okay, so that's what the cat out of the bag is.
And also, a cat of nine tails, when used for punishment, sometimes had pieces of glass or steel attached to the end.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. The term first appears in 1681, so yeah, this isn't medieval. Anyway, Kirena would be revealed to the world, but right now he needed to keep her a secret. A target on his and her back was the last thing they needed right now. Except the part where he said, he didn't care if they got found out a few chapters ago, but now he changed his mind. I
Yeah.
like
I
how
can
this.
excuse something like Cat Out of the Bag if it's from Cat o' Nine Tails, because this is not actually our world. They could easily have the Cat o' Nine Tails and have come up with the phrase by now in their world.
I mean, that's fair, but you know what I think that's strange about this? If I try to do anything with my stories, I just get raked over. But this dude can do whatever he wants, and people will tell him this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
He posted on AO3. You posted
Some
on
people,
fanfiction.net.
some
There's a
people will
difference.
tell you. Some people will tell you that AO3 is better. Of course, I am not one of those people, but there are many who will tell you it's better because they have a Disney kink meme and such things.
It's better if you need an ego boost instead of good reviews.
I mean, yeah. Especially with all the thoughts that have been going through his mind lately. He was hoping to all of the gods, old and new, that he wasn't making a grave mistake. Uncle Benjen, Admin, and even Kirena had made their beliefs known, and John had agreed with them at the time, even ready to fly back to Winterfell to confront the man himself, the man who was actually his uncle by blood. But the thoughts he had just before he went to sleep each night wouldn't go away. What if? What if they wrong?
What if they wrong?
What if he wrong? He was 90% sure that he wasn't. 90%?
99% sure.
99% sure that he wasn't.
When
That
did
he was Lyanna.
percentages come? When were percentages made?
Look, man, he's very smart. He probably read about percentages in a book. Okay, I I read it in a book that he was Lyanna Stark's son and not Eddard Stark's. But that 1% existed. You know, that disgusting 1% keeping all of the profit, right?
Oh, I've had to listen to rants about that.
And matter things that happened in the world to completely ignore that sliver of a chance. See, I've heard it too, and like I'm not wholly convinced by it because I know most people are lazy as shit and will never amount to anything simply because they don't want to do anything.
My brother wants to enact a tax against the rich and make them pay for being rich, and I'm like,
Do you know how much they pay already?
I don't
It's a
even
miracle they don't leave the country.
I don't even care about that. The fact that you want to take something away because someone's successful.
Oh yeah, it's called theft. Like anyone who talks like that, I call them. Oh, so you want to be a thief?
It's like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Now, do I believe that someone needs 300 billion freaking dollars? No.
No, but at the same time, it's
But
their
no one has the
prerogative,
right to take it from them.
Yes.
Like they worked for it, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you might say no, they didn't work for it; they had people to work for it. But
That's what my brother's argument is.
yeah, that argument is rendered null and void because they're the people on top of the project telling everyone what to do.
Yep. But before we dive into, politics heavily, let's finish the chapter.
Well, this is more societal behavior of rich people. Look, each brings up a point about people behaving like they do. What happens when you're rich is that you just it messes with your brain. Honestly, it does.
The way they behave does not give you the right to take their stuff.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how they behave. It's their money. They get to do whatever the fuck they want with it. If a dude showed up at my doorstep and told me because I'm an asshole, I now have to pay him half of my money, I would probably slap him in the face and tell him, "Come back with some weapons later. Maybe then I'll listen to you."
But probably not.
Probably not. Like, what's he gonna do? Go attack the bank that's holding my money? No. Good luck with that. Anyway, one of those mad things was looking at him now. Wait, where were we? 1%. Matter things, have to completely ignore that sliver of a chance. One of those mad things was looking at him now. What took you so long? The great mountain of magic. Oh, I mean, I kind of like this.
I don't.
Yeah, nobody cares, though. Growl through their bond.
Shut your
Kirena
diseased hole.
was currently laid out. She was laid out. She was... Okay. In an open area with the sunlight beaming down on her, the light bounced off of the crystals on her back and wings aggressively.
Oh no!
The light's bouncing aggressively, casting rainbow prisms around her.
Kirain is a vampire dragon.
Reina is a vampire dragon. Thank you for noticing that. She is now Kiredward. Kiredward the dragon. Kiredward. No, Kirena Cullen. Okay, we're gonna call her that from now on. Dana Cullen. Okay, we just go to dumpster fires. Type in Kirena Cullen. There we go, and possibly go to my pinned messages. List of nicknames. I'll jump to that. Edit. Dana Cullen. But also, I forgot to add Sir Jaime Lannister of the King's Guard and Tyrion's nephew. Oh God, I didn't know that picture existed. What the fuck? Baby Yoda Cullen?
Yes.
Thank you for that. Anyway,
You're welcome.
he was laid out doing rainbow prisms and everything. It was distractingly beautiful, guys. This is how amazing it was.
It's really getting a rise out of John.
Sighed as he approached her. The subtle purr from her chest could be heard and felt through the ground as he got closer to her. So, he approached her while he was approaching her. He knew that she had a certain affinity with light, sunlight especially, but that was as far as she explained. Apart from her claiming that she essentially feeds off of it, not much else was known about her love for the sun. Why would she need to hunt if she feeds off of light?
For fun? Don't hobby shame, Zero. This is the 21st century. That's not allowed.
What the fuck, Dylan? What is this? Like, I don't get it. I'm here now, aren't I? Now where is that little sod? He asked as he looked around. She huffed and craned her neck towards the tree where he spotted the white ball of fur curled up asleep. The bones of some unknown animal scattered around all him. Now I'm pretty sure a little bit more than bone would remain. He approached Ghost, looking for an idea of where he could be hurt. When he got closer, the direwolf's eyes slowly opened before he bolted upright and jumped him. Get off me, you little arsehole. Do the British say arsehole?
No.
Okay, just making sure. He exclaimed
Not from any Brit I've ever talked to.
Look it up. Arsehole. I mean, I guess they say it. Anyway. He exclaimed as Ghost slobbered all over his face. The wolf eventually got off of him, giving John a better chance to evaluate his injuries. From first glance, he couldn't see much wrong with his boy. He just stood there with his tongue lolling out. Okay. Yep. Red eyes bouncing between him and Kirena. After a few minutes of trying to work out what was wrong with him, he decided to ask the dragon instead.
Is Ghost evolving?
He's becoming Super Ghost. I thought you said Ghost was with you and he was hurt. From what I can see, there's nothing wrong with him, he said as he carried on looking for something he might be missing. I didn't say he was hurt. I said he was gonna get hurt. There's a difference, she explained. So the entire thing with John ditching Tywin Lannister without even a by your leave is all for nothing.
Are you saying that John thought Ghost was hurt and he stopped for lunch and took an hour to get there?
Yeah, he ditched the most powerful lord in all the realms, had some lunch, took a walk,
and then walked.
took a fucking walk, a leisurely hike. What the fuck?
Wait, That's worse than not petting Ghost in season 8.
Yeah, he did pet Ghost in season 8.
You know what I meant.
I don't. He turned towards her as he ruffled Ghost's fur. A quirked eyebrow shot her way. And why was he gonna get hurt? Are there poachers or something? He asked as he looked around. A trickle of concern entered into his system. Kirena blew smoke out of her nose. It was the closest thing to a snort he'd ever seen from her. I was the one who was gonna do the hurting, she growled as she looked at the white wolf. Ghost, to his credit, didn't even react and carried on panting in excitement as John carried on ruffling his fur. Why? What would you
For
hurt him?
fuck's sake.
Look at how cute he is.
Just look at that face.
And as he framed Ghost's face between
It
his two
reminds me of
hands.
a Scooby-Doo episode where Shaggy did that.
How could you hurt a face like that? He asked. With great swiftness and destruction, she replied, as Ghost began licking one of his hands that was framing his face. He let go and wiped it on his surcoat. What the fuck had he done to make her this angry? She obviously heard his thoughts as he answered that question. The answer amusing and annoying in equal measure. He snuck up on me and relieved himself all over me, he said. He could feel her ire between their palms. Yeah, I think if something pees on you, you probably don't
I mean,
like it.
yeah, I think I would want to kill Ghost too if he peed on me.
He's establishing dominance and marking his territory.
Look, everyone knows it's Ghost, and then John, and then Kirena. That's how the harem starts. Ghost is on the top, okay?
Ghost is top dog.
There you go. He sighed, then released a humorless chuckle. This
As a
isn't
review,
funny.
we have to... Oh, God.
What would you do if I relieved myself all over you? Imagine being asked this question imagine if this question pops up in Inherent Cycle.
I don't
Feel
want
about
to.
that. Like Saphira would get angry with Aragon and be like, "How would you feel if I pissed all on you?"
No.
She asked. He could feel her getting more annoyed. He had to end this. So, foreshadowing, right? This is foreshadowing. It has to be. I would probably drown.
Kirena flies over a town that John's in and just relieves herself across the entire town.
Destroys homes with the floods, right?
Yes.
I'd probably drown, but that's beside the point. You had me come all the way out here because he peed on you. He's only young. Chances are he was marking his territory and went the wrong way about it. He just wants to make friends, that's all, he said, trying to
I'm
defend the
impressed
pup's
she
actions.
could feel that through her scales.
Ghost rubbed his head against his leg in response. Kirena huffed, but seemed to calm down.
That calmed her down?
Yeah, just
telling her that Ghost was marking his territory.
This very old and wise dragon needs to be told how a child behaves, okay?
Oh. I'm in physical pain at the moment.
Good. Can we play nice now? He asked as
We
he
do
looked
have
between the two.
We do have to compliment that though in the review because that was funny shit.
He felt like a bloody father telling the kids off for being naughty. Yes, the very old dragon being told off for being naughty. Kirena blew smoke out her nose in response. John believed that was the best he was gonna get from her. Ghost just licked his hand in response.
I have a new headcanon for correct.
Sure, hit me with it.
She was a teenager when she destroyed Valyria, and then she hibernated until John woke her up. So she's still technically a teenager mentally.
I don't like that.
It's better than her being thousands of years old mentally and doing this shit.
Why? He nodded. Good. And you, he said as he pointed at Ghost. Stop being on her, would you? You've been warned, he said as the wolf lowered his head and let out a pathetic whine. That won't work either. You need to learn, he said as he walked towards Kirena and sat down next. Holy crap! Are we gonna end the chapter on a good note? Leaning his back against her warm flank, Ghost timidly approached them and laid down next to him, lowering his head to his paws and giving John them bloody puppy eyes. Never mind.
He can't even write ghost right.
Yeah, he's anthropomorphizing every damn animal in this story.
Yep. Also, Ghost wouldn't whine. Ghost never made a sound.
Yep.
Yeah, he never made a sound.
Now, to be fair, Ghost is highly intelligent, but he's not on the level of a human.
He folded his arms and closed his eyes, a deep breath in and out as he did so. A little nap just felt just right at that moment. Yeah, that's what happens when you eat a fucking entire roast chicken, okay?
No,
I mean, when the Great John tells you to eat an entire fucking roast chicken, you eat an entire fucking roast chicken.
I feel like that's going to become a meme.
Jesus Christ, these notes, okay. The chapter may seem like it ended abruptly. Oh, no shit. Takes a nap in the middle of nowhere, but that was done on purpose. I didn't
Have
want
you
to leave
never
it on a
just taken a
cliffhanger.
nap in the middle of nowhere?
Since the next chapter won't be out until early next month. Well, what would you say?
Have you never just taken a nap in the middle of the woods?
When I was camping.
I've taken a nap in a tree.
Seriously, you do it. It's not
wouldn't.
that unusual.
I wouldn't. I would be taking a nap in a tent.
Why?
Tents are cool. The rest of the houses will be arriving by the end of the next chapter. Oh, thank you for ruining that. The chapter after will involve some more interest being built in John for the actual grand melee in chapter 23. 3 chapters until the melee?
You don't.
It's a little something to give you an idea where we're going with the next few updates. Thanks again for even taking the time to read this. I'm beyond amazed at the reception it received. I'm amazed as well, Dirk. I am also
Yeah.
amazed. Until next time.
I'm not amazed. I'm horrified. I mean, some
53
people
comment.
left kudos on this. How could they?
Yeah, I should probably leave some, right?
Oh God.
It can't be taken back.
Yeah, you're right. Story box. So good. It's just so good. Great chapter.
Oh God.
Be honest, here I ship John Raella more than Rainey's, and hell yeah, I like this.
Okay.
Get that old lady some action back in her life.
Get some of that GILF action.
I'm imagining they posted that and then immediately deleted their account.
Name the chat, like you name the thing. You rename the story. How Raella got her groove back.
Riella's new groove.
Oh God.
There's only a story that did this. The name is For the Good of the Kingdom. All right, Dylan, get on this.
I am not going to be. Tell Raoul to get on this.
The name is Awakening the Dragon Wolf. But the only 2 chapters that this story have is with John only fucking Ilaria Sand and some whore. Don't spend your time with this one.
Why would he even suggest this if he just ends it with "Don't spend your time with this one"?
Can I just say I hate that name, Dragon Wolf. I legitimately despise it now.
Do you though? There we go. We sent Ryle on this. I'm
There we go.
actually surprised there aren't many stories that explore this pairing. You're surprised that a fucking teenager isn't fucking a 60-year-old woman or something?
Great grandma.
Is she
Or no,
60?
it's just his normal grandmother. Never mind.
Is she 60?
I don't fucking know. Probably like 50 or 40.
Not
Probably
40.
50.
I think it's 50s.
It doesn't matter. It's his grandmother.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to focus on something else.
That's it again? Hardly anything happened? Get another chapter out soon? No, sorry. Don't listen to this guy. The more world building you do, the better. What world building?
There was no world building here.
The conversation with Tywin is good.
Oh God.
Oh
I
no!
like how he was indecisive.
What?
The conversation was between Rhaenys and Dany was cute. The inner monologue of Rhaenys thinking about Dany is leading to the double marriage. Oh, look at this. Someone's gears are turning. Beginning there, checking early is smart. Overall, another very good transitional chapter. Can't wait for more. Thanks for the kind words. I don't mind comments like that. They aren't necessarily nasty. Whenever it gets to that point, I find myself just ignoring them. It's just easier. LOL. God damn, my dude. Every comment you make is toxic as fuck. Talking to this one. Hungry for more. This is
Oh,
the
what the
best
fuck?
fic I've ever read.
Oh
Update
God.
faster. Just quite Fury things. One of my favorite stories right now. Oh, another great chapter by your favorite person.
He sullies the image.
Nice chapter. I really love it. I can't wait for the punishment that Ned's will.
Ugh.
Ned's what? Ned's what?
His family.
A lot more important. I can't wait to John fuck Dany and Rhaenys. Amazing chapter. Loved it. Hoping update will come soon. Would Dany and Rhaenys will happen first, or the prophesized threesome? The prophesized threesome.
I
That
want
should
a
be a story
prophecy.
title.
I want
That's
a
a
prophecy now.
That's
The
a story title.
prophesized threesome.
I hope the threesome. Yo, you already know these are like underage people who are just waiting for this.
Yeah.
Then again, I've seen adults with these mindsets. Never mind.
I was about to say, we have an entire omniverse of people with this mindset.
You realize the omniverse is mostly children, right? Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to break your mindset on that, but those are mostly kids.
At least the ones I interact with are mostly adults.
Anyone
And that's all I care
also,
about.
I'll tell you this: when I was 14, I would go on chat rooms and claim I was 18. So 100%. A lot of these people are doing the exact same thing. They do the thing where they sign up and they put their date of birth as something before 21 minus 18, so 2002 or 2003. God damn. We're in the age where putting the date of birth at 2002 makes you 18 years old.
Oh
I
no.
feel old.
I remember having to put it at like 1987.
2003 at this point, actually. It's 2021.
You're right.
Oh,
It's the end of 2021.
I feel very old.
Amazing chapter. I would like to see Ariane join John's like harem. He not have a harem. But he has Danny and Ray. I say that is a 3 was harem. Make it a
What?
4-way. I don't fucking know. I mean, at least his username acknowledges that he has a problem. I need help and lots of it. Look, if you English balls gets it.
So Aegon the First Targaryen have a harem
Have a
too.
harem too. Yes.
No.
Pinky Pike. That was great, thanks. Kind of quiet chapter and lots of building plot for later. More background on Jamie. I was wondering if he'd been tasked by Raella or not. Yeah, no shit. Wait, he's asking if he was tasked? Oh, no, don't get angry, Zero. Just
Make that noise again. That was hilarious.
I make that noise all the time. I'm used to it because me and Rain, when we're on voice chat, we make the stupidest noises. Because, like, if something crazy happens, we're like, ha! Rainy sneaking around was fun. Loris was wonderful. Now we only miss Danny interacting with him. Curious about the melee, where Kirena will be introduced to the world. And I do really hope for a reunion between John and Ashara and her daughter. Sorry, I don't remember her name right now. This is how unimportant this story is to these people. They don't remember names or anything. They just speed through it.
This is ridiculous. I remember freaking details that the authors don't remember sometimes.
Most people don't. That would probably make Ned even more of a mess. Thanks. A joy to see updates from you. The thing you just said, it reminded me of something. I remember when I was doing that Dragon Ball Z quiz,
Yeah.
and I showed it to one of my friends, and he failed the quiz.
Wait.
Well, one of my to give context, this friend of mine, he loves a Team 4-star, abridged. He likes DBZ, and he constantly quotes things from DBZ like over 9,000, and he like he does the Frieza voice sometimes. And I just gave him a little quiz. It wasn't like you remember the quiz. It wasn't hard. It was like, what does the scouter do? It detects people's power levels, and the other three options were things that were absolutely stupid that would have nothing to do with it. And he didn't pass the test.
What? Did he fail on purpose?
No, he just couldn't do it.
What?
I know. They
How?
like people do not remember these things. They see a story, they remember how they felt, but they don't remember what happened.
The scouter, really?
I'll see if I still have it after the stream is done.
I remember this quiz, but
I mean, I might still have it on my GitHub account. That's where I originally uploaded it. It should
how
be.
do you
It
not
should
know
still
what
be
the
there.
scouter does?
Sign into GitHub. Sign in.
Literally, the meme has him using the scouter and then saying it's over 9,000. Logic dictates that it measured the power level.
Basically, I was learning to. Can you guys do another chapter?
No.
You realize chapters take 2 to 3 hours, right?
Yeah, we're not.
I'm not taking. Like I'm good. I'm good, buddy. Like
Yeah.
if you wanna do something after, maybe I can like have a room in Cosme and like we could watch videos or something. But I'm good. Can't wait until John finally meets the royal family. Please update soon. There is something I've been wanting to watch.
What?
Devil May Cry 5 incorrect summary.
Oh, that's
Great chapter, like always. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see what else they get up to before the reveal, and the princesses will respond to him as they learn more about
These
him.
reviewers are worse than I was when I was 14 and helping the author Animagus mishaps with a story.
Look, Peach, you can get great background noise by joining the Cosby channel.
Dylan,
And I said, what's up?
Myth?
why would you admit to that?
I feel no shame.
You said this is when you were 14, but I mean these guys are probably 12. What does SCW think? An interesting meeting between Jamie of the Kingsguard, Garen's nephew, John, and the great Tywin. Tywin impressed slightly. Now that's interesting. Rhaenys' thoughts revolving around John, and I love the teasing Loras and Danny did. As always, loved Ghost and his little antics. Haha, see, I told you. Fucking,
I think I still have the Google Docs on my account. For that
great
story.
chapter. I can't wait for the next one. Ironclad Sphinx. I love how this is going. I can't wait to see Rhaenys'... This is not how you run... Kill somebody here.
Her name
But
is
John
not
a little-
Rainy.
It is now.
King John. Empty. Is that what empty means? So get more. What the fuck is this? Why is he quoting Robert?
Hey, I do.
Is he okay, is he doing the thing where he's like, give me more chapters, and that's why he's quoting this? That's what I'm guessing. But what does Sir Alistair Porn thinks? I always enjoy his take. Awesome chapter. Oh, okay, never mind.
Very, very lackluster today.
What does Area Door 12345 say? I can't wait until he gives Blackfire back to Rhaegar. That is going to be one great reaction. I hope he does it after winning the melee. people are going to shit themselves.
This is the problem. People are only looking for the reactions.
To be fair, I like a reaction chapter of what's going on in the world sometimes, but
Look at this story though. It's fully expected that he's gonna win.
Yeah. Like there's no suspense, like there's no guessing what's gonna happen. People are in it just to see the people in the in universe react to what they know is gonna happen.
to be fair, that's a problem with a lot of gamer stories too.
Yeah.
What does Hidget in the 900 think? Great chapter, thanks. Lorien Legacy.
Lorien Legacy 4.
Of this chapter. So one princess has seen Job, can't wait for her and can't to meet him. And what the fuck? Are you
What the hell?
Okay. Balls got his wish for more English. Okay. A second here, let me drink some water. Of this chapter, so one princess has seen Job, can't wait for her and can't to meet him, and Ashara and Clarissa to show up. My computer actually died on me yesterday. What? Not really comfortable reading or raving on my phone, but couldn't wait to read this. But I'll wait till I get a new laptop to write the long reviews I want to write. Oh, okay.
That
I
hurt.
understand now. I fully understand what you say. Or he.
Yeah.
In John, can't wait for her to meet him and Ashara and Clarissa. I can't wait for Ashara and Clarissa to show up. And then here's a period here. Now they're saying my computer died, so I'm not really
So
comfortable
I'm writing this on my phone.
reading or reviewing on my phone. But I couldn't wait to read this. But I'll wait until I get a new laptop to write the long. Oh yeah, see, no, this makes sense.
Yeah, I can
love
excuse that for having fat fingers.
Oh my God,
I
Alex
can't.
13,
That's
what
a
are you doing
monster
here?
review.
I can't
the
because there's
fuck?
speech to text.
Okay, very nice chapter. It was really interesting to see the interaction and conversations between John and Jamie and John and Tywin. It'll be really interesting. Yeah, we get it. It's interesting.
And.
What?
John and Jamie and John and Tywin.
Oh, okay. See how Tywin and Jamie will react when the truth about John's parentage will be revealed, and to see if Tywin will want to marry him or sell it to him.
That's not Tywin's decision.
Yeah, Tywin is the Lord of the West.
He has literally no power over.
Sorry. I had to sneeze there for a second. You guys didn't want to hear that? Anywho. Also interesting to see the conversation between Rhaenys and Dany, and to see that Rhaenys is smitten for John.
That
Not
should be
smitten
weird.
for someone. You're smitten by someone. At least that's how I remember it.
I'm pretty sure it's with.
With?
Yeah, smitten with John.
You're probably right. Smitten with. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong, but it's not for. Out of
No.
curiosity, in the tags, John is paired with Rhaenys and Dany. I take that means John will end up married with them, right? No shit. Also, I like how he reads the chapter and he sees the explicit part where he says that Ray is thinking about Dany in sexual terms, and he still doesn't get that they're gonna get married. Okay. Curious to see which one of those will be dominant one. Though judging from the interaction, we've seen that Dany will be the dominant woman. Perhaps things will change. Seeing that Rayla has some suspicions about John. Does Rayla suspect that John is Rhaegar's son with Lyanna and send Jamie to investigate, or did she have other? It was interesting to see the end of the chapter. Well, Peacemaker, blah blah blah, pissed on the.
Danny,
Oh look, he's so happy about it.
dominant in the bedroom is very weird. She was always submissive about that in the books.
Really curious to see how the relation between the Direwolf and Dragon will evolve. Yeah, they're gonna make little dragon wolves, right? Right, Dylan?
Oh God.
Yeah. Kirena
You
X
know, that's
Ghost.
the first thing I thought when she said he pissed on her. I was like, he's dominating her. He's dominating her.
Also, considering the end notes, I imagine the truth about John's parentage will be revealed either during chapter 23 or the next one after. Right? It'll be interesting. Blah 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 blah. How he already said how big.
She's so big that Valyrian is nowhere to be found.
Okay, slowing down. I like this chapter, though I was surprised John didn't bring up Joy Hill when talking with Tywin. Yeah, no shit.
That's because John's a dick and he doesn't care.
I will give Tywin. I will give you anything, Jon Snow, for this massive gift that you've given me.
How about
Tyrion's
Joy Hill?
daughter. How about you make
Give
Joy
him
Hill's
Joy
life
Hill.
better? I have no idea how he is meant to pass on Garen's message to her, since I can't imagine they would have brought her. Yeah, no shit. He could have told Tywin, "Hey, your brother has a message for his daughter Joy."
He could literally have asked for her to be legitimized.
Oh yeah, or at least given a good life. Smiley faces. ROFL. Seriously, the end of this chapter is hilarious. Love this story so much. You have just the right mix of plot, seriousness, and fun bits. Just the right mix, okay? But what does Magic 724 think?
That's
Not gonna
spelling.
lie. Really hoping to see if you have John pull the bit of a shit Kingsguard line on Arthur as a lead up to the reveal. That would make
What?
my day.
Why?
I know. But I'm
What?
sure we'll find out. But what does Bucky Barnes' old girlfriend think?
I think they need a new name.
I also like how nobody gave a shit about Captain America or Iron Man or all these Marvel comics before they came on the cinema.
Excuse you.
When I say no one, I mean the general population.
Accepted.
Yeah, like
So when you
most of
especially
the MCU heroes were very minor characters.
I remember freaking Avengers Assemble from the cartoon on Saturdays.
yeah, because you were a child watching cartoons like a child would.
You gotta keep harping on that.
Oh. But what? Okay, good job on this story. It's unique and interesting. Couldn't stand Cuntlin, so I love how you're portraying her, but I love Ned, and I kind of feel bad for his assholiness.
Assholiness.
The holy ass.
But it was needed for the storyline to work. See, if it's needed for the storyline to work, it's gotta be
Pete
convincing.
brings up a good point. Wasn't Avengers Assemble a cartoon in 2013?
Yeah.
Now, I remember watching like X-Men, the animated series.
Do you?
Yes.
I've not seen it. I've seen the
Ah,
intro.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, not Assemble.
Oh.
My bad.
I just blew my nose. I feel better now.
You have a real gift for imagination.
Thanks for your time and effort. What does Emrys Ambrosia think? Fantastic. Oh no, Ambrosia. I don't know why people read it like that. It was refreshing seeing Tywin act a bit childish instead of the hard ass. Hey. I'm guessing
What?
he's saying he is.
How is that refreshing?
Because people don't like the same characterization. Even if it doesn't make sense, is that he's not acting in character. Will there be update today on the 1st March of 2019? This was said. No, sorry,
No.
next week. Thanks for informing. It was just second, so next Friday or earlier. Most probably next Friday.
He said next Friday. And then he asked, so next Friday or earlier? Why?
What?
Oh, no, he said next week. Okay.
Yep. I could see Tywin believing that he owed Jon something. At the very least, his support and assistance in the future. Yeah, no shit. Why do you think they? He would be worried if he got out that John had returned. If it got out that John had returned, the famed ancestral sword didn't receive anything for doing so, that people would start doubting House Lannister. Reputation is everything in Tywin after the debacle of his father's rule, and he couldn't have anyone doubting that Rhaegar almost paid their debts. Will there be a new chapter today, Friday, the 8th of March? That should be up within the next 2 hours. Cool.
Yeah.
That makes my day, Magic724 said. Remember Magic724? We saw him earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Inderwigan 24.
Oh, that was the last comment.
What? That's not how you review something.
That's like leaving kudos, except in
Yeah,
comment.
that was them leaving kudos because they've already left kudos.
I've tried to leave kudos multiple times before. It's like, I want to leave more kudos.
You though.
I mean, I've done it more because it's a habit. When I get to the end of the chapter, I hit kudos and subscribe.
I'm more do it because I forgot I left kudos.
Because I usually, instead of reading a chapter at a time, I hit show entire fic and read it like that. So then when a new chapter comes out, scroll down, finish. Gotta mention Ghost pissing on Kirena.
You use an English?
I like Ghost pee on Kirena Chan love.
Oh my god. Exodus fainted?
What?
Exodus fainted, apparently.
The heck?
His pure, fragile soul could not take the world any longer.
Okay.
He received 1 damage and fainted. What? For fuck's sake.
Anything else?
Is Grandma gonna get that nice hard sword?
Yeah, is Granny Rayella gonna tap that?
Is Jamie gonna polish that new sword? Will Jamie polish the sword John gives him? I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. Well, this is good. This is perfect. And then we have the list of names. I like how the list has like hyphens here everywhere except this part. I just thought it was nice. Anywho, just copy this comment. We are.
Yeah, beautiful. Mwah. Beautiful.
It is. Let's And then dumpster fires, and I might as well put it in Miss Fiction room. There we go. Perfect.
And now I
Now.
must retreat.
Yes, we must die.
No, I drank too much during the stream. I gotta use the bathroom.
Oh. That kind of retreat.
God King signing off.
See you later. Oh, he's already gone. Yeah. What's the next chapter title? The Dragon's Interest. Whoa, he left too early.
The dragon's interest.
Dragon's Interest. Is he talking about Kirena, or is he? He's probably talking about Rhaegar.
Is this talking metaphorical dragon, or is it talking the big
Actual.
hulking mountain of magic?
To take a screenshot and show it to Dylan. Also, Peach, I am like I don't know why you suggested I read another chapter earlier. It would take another 3 hours. We'll die. I'll die anyway. I've been talking too long. Anywho,
I've never
this was
understood bookmarks on AO3.
bookmarks. Oh, this thing?
Yeah,
How do you bookmark? Oh, there it is.
hit the bookmark button.
Yeah. Why would you need a? I hate this. Dragon. The power of the dragon. He's maybe she'll pee on him.
She's gonna
promised.
fly high up in the air and just piss all over Harrenhal.
He's just gonna make it rain, baby.
Yeah, make it rain.
Okay, we should get off, man. This is too much.
Yeah.
Thank you for
See
coming
everyone.
to this TED talk, and have a
Next
good night.
time.
Bye. Where's that thing? Where is it? The thank you thing. There it is.
I guess I should thank you. But that'd be out of character. Maybe you should just throw an insult my way instead. Yeah, that sounds better. Still, I owe you.
Japanese fried kami.